Anyway, so back to Walter White's question, how the business kind of got started. Real fast, what happened was my wife and I came back from overseas. I came back from overseas, and then my wife and I went on a trip, and we came back from overseas. And when we came back from overseas, we were walking to a store in the area where we lived. While we were walking down the road, we heard a loud commotion, sirens, air horns, and we looked back and we saw a funeral escort being done by the competition that I have in Orange County. While we were watching the procession go through the intersection, we noticed that back then, they have better lights now, but back then they had a magnet light on the roof of the cruiser that was one of the old rotate lights that they mounted to the roof, and they had a siren air horn. They were running sirens, which is funny because the competition can run sirens, and Vittler kind of gives them the leeway to do it, but whenever we tapped our sirens on escort, it immediately turned into a felony charge. Anyways, so, which is funny because running a siren in Florida is only a $75 traffic ticket, not a impersonating law enforcement officer charge. So, back to what I was saying, we're watching the funeral go through the intersection, and as it's going through the intersection, of course, they didn't stay in the intersection. They went into it, they held it for a few seconds, but because they took too many cars, and Orange Avenue is literally light after light after light after light. And unless you have the proper amount of units, or you realize that intersections, especially in a city area, are only designed for 15 to 20 cars. Between traffic light to traffic light, the city planners actually design it to where it's about 15 to 20 cars. So they had way too many cars, not enough staff to support the intersections. And so, we've all, probably been there, maybe not me as much. I always err on the side of caution, and we always pay attention to the intersections, but they raced up ahead to get to the next light because the escort was already entering. And when they did that, of course, the light cycled. And the funeral has the right of way. So they continued through, and a car crossing Orange Avenue at Michigan, which is a pretty large intersection if you're familiar with the Orlando area. It's not huge. It's not John Young and Colonial Drive. It is definitely a smaller intersection, but it's still pretty hot. A lady drove through the green light. She had a green light. Didn't see that there was a procession. Didn't understand there was a procession. There was no unit in the intersection from the other company. And when that happened, she just drove through, slammed into a car. It was a serious, very bad accident. I immediately ran to the scene. She was entrapped. It was an entrapment. Had to call rescue, whole 9 yards, jaws of life, all that good stuff. When that happened, I stepped back and said to myself and my wife, I can do this better. I know that I can do it better. I know that somebody should have always been there. I know that we should be following, or they should be following, EVOC procedures. For those that are law enforcement that watch and talk shit, or paramedics that talk shit, or firefighters, or whatever you want to be, or whatever story you want to tell you are, I insist and train my guys extremely well on EVOC procedures. How to use the air horns, how to enter, how to do all the above for EVOC, for entering an intersection. We of course go in on a green, but that doesn't change the tone of the air horns that we should be using to alert the public that we're coming into the intersection and things of that nature. So I told my wife I knew I could do it better. Not arrogantly, not trying to say I was a better person, not trying to say that I could be a better company, but saying that I know that I could keep the families safer from that never happening. And knock on wood, there's no wood in the car, so I don't know what I'm going to knock on my head. I've had 0, and I keep telling you guys that 0, that's not 3, that's 0 accidents with the families in my care, or my company's care. Family members have never in all 11 years been in an accident, never, under my care, or our escorts. I know for a fact my competitor, and there's Florida Highway Patrol documents to verify, and I know a lieutenant over at FHP who's advised me multiple times on many different occasions that they've had anywhere from 2 to 5 accidents every year. One year they actually had 7 in 1 year. 7 family-related car accidents in 1 year. But overall, around 2 to 5 a year since I've started my business. Doing a funeral escort is extremely dangerous. I know that you guys want to talk shit, high risk this and high risk that, whatever the fuck you want to talk about and talk shit. But at the end of the day, you're taking a procession of grieving family members or friends and driving them through town, through red lights, and through every traffic control device that you're required to follow as a normal person. And they're doing it during daylight hours, because you can't do funerals after sunset, and you can't do funerals at night. So, I apologize. Escorts. Obviously, there's funerals at night and things of that nature, but escorts. So, with that said, again, not arrogantly, not disrespectfully, because I know the other company's owner, and I know he's an extremely good man, and he works diligently on keeping his company. But I knew that if we had men and women that were focused strictly on doing escorts and nothing else, that we could build a better business. And that's what we did. And within a year of me starting, never once in 11 years have I ever advertised. I've never advertised for my business. Never put out ads, never sent emails, never sent memos. For those that don't know, every vehicle that I have, the only thing I don't do is paint it. We usually 99% of the time get the vehicles already black and white, and the motorcycles already come black and white. So I've never painted them. All I ever do is fix engine problems, fix the wiring, and then reset them, and then install our amount of lights that we use, which I know you all know is ridiculously a lot. However, we're a lot more visible, and the visibility is what keeps us safe. And I install everything and do it from scratch. And we started with one motorcycle, no cars. Slowly but surely built the business that I have today. So when I say I build it with my own hands, my bare hands, I honestly mean that. I turn the wrenches to fix the bikes. I turn the wrenches and screwdrivers to install the lights. I do the wiring, the soldering, the taping, the programming of the actual said lights, and so on and so forth. So with that said, that's where we're at on the vehicles. And how the business kind of started. Just wanted to kind of give you a glimpse at that. And we started doing funeral escorts, and we haven't stopped, even under, sadly, COVID-19 and the reign of Sergeant Vittler and the false stories and charges and mountain of tickets that have been thrown out. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's in the 80s of tickets that have been thrown out by judges of Orange County, saying what we're doing is 100% legal. So, of course, the confusion lies in my head, because I don't know if you've seen the emails from Steven, Casey, Miller, but the emails clearly show that they go back and forth. Oh no, the pepper ball guns aren't illegal. Oh no, the badge isn't illegal. Oh no, the uniform's not illegal. Oh no, the lights aren't illegal. oh no, the vehicles aren't illegal. And judges over the course of 11 years have thrown all the tickets out that we've ever gotten and saying what we're doing is legal. So the confusion just comes from, I don't know what they say, left field, when Vittler shows up and says that we're impersonating. But anyways, I'll show you some vehicles, some equipment, some motors. I'll get you that, show you that today. And we're changing out some tires. I don't know if you really want to see that boring shit, but today's a boring day. Unless some cop shows up with a warrant and takes me into custody. Who the fuck knows? I mean. All right, so we're going to go ahead and show you one of the cruisers. All right, so we'll get into the cruiser here. So as you see, we got your standard Gamber Johnson console, Whelen 6 with slide, siren system, Motorola radio, PA system. Of course, got the port. Got to have the port on the console so you can jack in and listen to your music while you're driving, doing escorts. We do have the mount for laptops for guys that need to fill out paperwork, things like that. This is one of our 4 Dodge Chargers. Let me show you some of the outside. Also in the car, we have the L3 camera system, so we can record all escorts while doing our escorts, obviously, to make sure that there's no problems, and if something happens, we have front and rear cameras. Dome lights. It's got the two-tone red and then white. Don't really understand why you guys want to see all this stuff, but it is what it is. So this is our new funeral car. We got dual speakers in the front for louder air horning, multiple front lights, corner lights, side lights, 45-degree angle lights, and that's all for the reason of intersections. You know, you got to make sure the intersection knows that you're there. As you see, the lights are purple. Leave it to Vittler. They look bluish purple. That color bluish purple. I don't know if you guys see that. You see how blue those look? Nah, I'm just talking shit. Y'all know I'm fucking talking shit. Anyways, so you can see they're clearly purple. As you can see, the lights are on the corner, sides, hoods, angles at the 45. Then, of course, the light bars flash. Corner lights, side lights. Then we have the side lights mounted, so on and forth. Oh, look, this is our newest one that we had to start doing so that way people can understand. Look, funeral, yield, it's the, I don't want to say law. I don't want to say it because then I might be impersonating, and Steven, Casey, Miller, and Sergeant Vittler will say that I'm impersonating it. So this is our Tahoe. We only have one of these. However, we have other SUVs. Same scenario, dual speakers in the front. For those that are familiar with the company, don't want to say their name online because then you dumb fucking trolls that have nothing better to do will talk shit. But the tag light is from a company that we love and they've always supported us. Multiple additional lights in the push bumper. Then of course you have the lights up in the tint, front lights, same scenario, corner lights, side lights. So then you have the same thing, no laptop stand in here. This vehicle is used predominantly by me, and wifey doesn't like the laptop stand being in the way. Cameras, it's got the lights, same kind of camera system inside the front of the actual truck. Slick light system of Whelen, emergency lights. It's a Ghost. We had to do a Ghost unit. One of my contractors at the time lived in an apartment complex and he couldn't have a marked vehicle, so we went ahead and made a ghost, and they accepted that, you know. He's got a home now and things like that, so not so much of an issue anymore. But the car still works good, and you know, some of the funeral homes actually like it because it matches their hearses and limos, and it kind of gives the impression that it's makes their company bigger, you know, if you know what I mean, because it looks like it's one of their cars maybe. Again, dual speakers, license plate lights, and then we'll go ahead and let you see the ghost. You see the light, the way it reflects. Not as many lights on this unit, because it was kind of supposed to be more of a ghost stripped down kind of thing. That's our ghost. For those that didn't know we had one, now you know. And there's the train of the day. We don't have a Metro State train. That I never got around to getting. But that's just a quick rundown of some of our equipment. I'll show you guys the tow truck when it gets back. It's out on runs today, if I have the opportunity and time, okay? So this is our staple, or main staple of our fleet, the BMW R1200 RTP. The P stands for police, obviously. Can't change BMW and tell them, hey, look, we don't want to be considered police, because Sergeant Vittler will come and arrest us if we're an RTP. So anyways, real fast. So this is the RTP. It is an extremely fast and agile bike. A lot of agencies are switching to BMWs, getting away from the Harleys. Harley is a good bike, but not as fast. Shakes too much. Not as sexy as this thing right here. So, as you can see, motor is very nice. What we have for our BMWs, real fast, go ahead and get to the display, is we have our speed readouts, map light, cell phone holder for the cell phones. Now these bikes have adjustable windshields, so the windshield goes up and down. So you can, when you're on the highway, if you're going faster, you can lower it, lift it. It's got heated grips, heated seat for the winter, and then our emergency lights are here, so when you turn them on, they're all on. We have our radio system so we can communicate. We have cup holders so we can drink our Starbucks, because believe it or not, those that don't know, I literally installed cup holders on all my motorcycles so we can go to Starbucks. Standard. The only thing that we have on this bike that's code 3 is the air horn siren system and the BMW system, because BMW actually did a contract with code 3. We then replaced when I say we, I replaced all the code 3 lights with Whalen lights. What you see is Whalen Lindsay 6s, Whalen Talons, Avengers, front wigwag systems do flash, headlights do flash, grill lights, fog lights. I even made the markers, if you see above the headlights, that are purple, they actually flash as well with the system. Then we have flashlight holder, so we have flashlights. We have a holder for paperwork, books, things of that nature that we need, so on and so forth. Then my bike, I have a briefcase in the trunk, has my sunglasses, has my night riding glasses or rain riding glasses. Of course, Oakley, 100%. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Radio, GPS system on all of our equipment, all vehicles, motorcycles, cars. And then we also have the front-facing camera. And then, of course, you have the body camera on the helmet and the camera that you're wearing. So that's our BMW R1200 RTP. Nothing to write home about, but we have 18 of them. I'm sorry, actually we have 16 of these. We have 2 bikes that I'll show you here in a second. So here inside the bay is our Kawasaki KZ Concourse 1400. This motorcycle is very scary, extremely fast, faster than our BMWs, I believe, more agile. BMWs are extremely agile, but this bike, because it's so light, is just able to move and maneuver better. We're not pulling it out so we can film all this for you guys, but as you can see, same concept. Radio, air horn, siren, indicators, red for rear, red for front, yellow for rear, that the lights are on. You have your hazards, things of that nature. Same scenario with this motor. You have the windshield light, and then we went out of our way and installed, because this bike's package did not have the code 3 flashing takedowns. We added those. And then I added the fog lights again. So corner lights in the vents of the motor. So again, this is the Kawasaki Concourse 1400. It is a 1400cc motorcycle. Extremely fast. Has heated seats, heated grips, just like our Beamers. Got to ride in comfort. Not that we have that much kind of weather here in Florida, but then of course we have GPS. The radio antenna's inside this trunk. It's a little set up just slightly different, but then you, of course, you have the side mount lights, box, flashlight, holder, and flashlight. This is a Honda 1300 ST Authority. That's their title. Again, Vittler, Casey Miller, I'm saying Authority and Police because that's the title of these motorcycles. No other reason. So the Honda 1300P Authority is, you know, it almost looks like a Beamer. That's kind of why we got it. We tried it out. It's a good bike. However, it is a little more complicated to install things. You almost have to take the whole bike apart to do things, to add batteries, to add lights. The BMW is extremely easy to get into. They designed it very well for fleet maintenance. They were smart when they designed their motor. Honda did a great job. Bike's great. You know, tried and true Honda, but not as easy to work on. Still a great bike, moves very good. Can't really outfit the rear end as much as the Beamers or the Kawasaki, but we did the best we could. And when I say we, I mean me. I have a tendency to speak in third party for Metro State. So, of course, again, radio. Then Whalen equipment. So, GPS. So that's the Honda ST 1300 Authority. Good bike. Again, it's a great bike. It goes fast. Nowhere near as fast as the Beamer. In fact, when you, just like the Harleys, when you hit a certain speed, the back end starts to shake because the boxes, the way they're designed, the wind goes over them and causes the back end to baffle and kind of just shift with the wind back and forth. When you hit certain speeds on the BMW or the Concourse, the bike just grooves in tight and you just feel like you're set.